Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2007 Rob Zombie remake film, Halloween, hour 50 minutes long. I've seen this one the most. As we're doing our marathon, I'm recapping certain things I haven't seen, certain things I saw parts of, certain things I've seen, but not like many times. This is the one I'm remembering that I've seen the most. So I was 17 years old when this came out. I saw it in theaters. I saw it with a bunch of friends at sleepovers. Like, I've seen this the most. This is the most brutal Michael that we've seen. I enjoy Rob Zombie's direction in regards to terror. He does terror very well. He has his own multiverse of films, which I haven't seen all of them. But he does terror very well. He does these kinds of like upshot of like characters screaming covered in blood a lot. And it just works. Like, it's his style of terror, and it just works very well. Like, it gets you like creeped out. I don't really know how else to really explain it. I mean, just studying, like, film and stuff. Like, I understand certain camera angles work differently, and certain directors are well known for certain shots, kind of a thing. So, Rob does a very good job with the upshot and, like, subtle upshot. Not, like, full upshot. Subtle upshot with, like, blood. Like, especially Laurie over Michael's body after the blood splatter at the very, very end, right before the credits, right? Shoots the gun. Blood splashes up in the face. She screams. It's that upshot, and you're like, Rob Zombie terror shot. It's like, it has its own aesthetic. It's a very good aesthetic in regards to horror. So, what I love about this remake is, and it's rare to say that you love a remake, right? It's very rare. But the original film is an hour 30 minutes, right? Hour 28 minutes with including credits, something like that. Most of the Michael Myers Halloween films are very quick. Hour and a half, hour 40 minutes, right? This is an hour 50-something minutes, and it's long. But the first 35 minutes, and I actually timed it, first 35 minutes of this hour and 50 long minute film is Michael as a kid. It's 10-year-old Michael Myers, who is much older than 6-year-old Michael Myers, right? That's the little difference in the remake. We get him in school. We get him, like, hurting animals. We get him beating the crap out of Daryl Sabaro's character in this, who plays a bully. Like, we get him then not just killing his sister that Halloween night, he kills the horrible boyfriend of the mom as well. And so, like, and the boyfriend of the sister. So, like, he went on a spree. And so he was locked away, and then Dr. Loomis is there and, you know, talking to him, and we get a Christmas shot at one point where Dr. Loomis visits him at Christmas with gifts, and they have the sweaters, and there's Christmas decorations in the facility, and you're like, haha, so this is technically a Halloween and Christmas film. So I forgot all about that. But it's a lot of Michael and his mom, too. His mom visits him a lot. His mom has conversations with him in the facility, and then, like, he winds up killing a nurse with a fork, and then all hell breaks loose. And then she winds up unaliving herself, leaving the baby then, the baby sister then, you know, unattended. And then how does she wind up being adopted by the Strode family, aka the reemersion of Laurie Strode? So the first 35 minutes of this is a prequel to then the remake of Michael breaking out of the mental facility, going back to Haddonfield, Illinois, on a quest to, you know, terrorize and kill. But it's also kind of a remake of the sequel as well, because we're told in the sequel that Laurie is Michael's actual brother, right? In the second film, Halloween 2, that's when we find out that Laurie is Michael's brother. Because at the end of the first, we're like, why does he want to kill Laurie? Is it because she dropped the key off at the house? But then it's a whole matter of, oh, he wants to wipe out the whole family. So we get a little bit of that as well. So this is a prequel, remake, and part of it is sequel, all in the same film in regards to certain dialogue and plot points and stuff. And then the aftermath then happens in the second film within this new timeline of events. I really like how this story is presented to us, because it's gives us origin that we didn't really expect. You know, in the original timeline of events, the first 6 films, you know, the last film, the 6th film, Curse of Michael Myers, is revealed to us that the Curse of Thorn is what has been controlling Michael this entire time. So it's a matter of then in these remake sequels, not even a sequel, in this remake universe, what's Michael's motivation? Is it the Curse of Thorn? Is it this druid cult? Is it what's going on, right? But it seems like they talk about it in the psychosomatic aspect, that this kid has psychological problems, and he's doing these things that are not human. He's doing these animalistic things. Why? It's because it's a psychological problem. They bring the science to it, kind of. They don't bring in, oh, it could be a curse. None of that stuff. So I like that it's different, but I also like that they kept certain characters the same. They kept certain plot points the same. Falling off the balcony, they added Laurie in the mix. I thought that was neat. I enjoyed the random basement aspect of that, and they kind of switched it. So instead of using his sister's tombstone and the new body as representative of his sister in the bedroom, a la the first film, they did it in the basement. So it's just different. Certain things just moved differently. But this Michael was very brutal. He was very rough. He was very, I'm doing this now kind of a thing. Like, I'm going to get this jumpsuit. I'm going to destroy these people. I'm going to do this now. And it was very brutal. That's the best word for it. It's a brutal remake. It holds your attention. You're not bored at any point. I think it's very well done. I'm still captivated all these years. I was in high school when this came out, and I remember being freaked out because this was a creepy Michael that we haven't really seen before. You know, yeah, the first Michael is very creepy when he does the little head nod and stuff, but like this Michael is more aggressive and brutal. That's the best word for it. This Michael is brutal. I also liked when Laurie escapes the house at one point, the Myers house at one point, and then falls into like an abandoned or drained in-ground pool, because it was very much poltergeisty. I liked that kind of pool reference, so that was neat. I also did not know that Skylar Gisondo plays Tommy Doyle in this. Had no clue. We love Skylar Gisondo, right? He's awesome. Did not know that this was one of his first projects as a little kid. And you're looking at his eyes and you're looking at his face and you're like, that's clearly Skylar Gisondo. But he's wearing a red hoodie with, you know, skull makeup, and now we would reference that as a Coco costume, a la Disney Pixar's Coco. But back then, that wasn't a thing. So it's pretty neat seeing these different things come into play, and you're like, haha, I know that reference, but that happened way before the actual thing happened. So other stories involving red-hooded characters with skull makeup on, like what happens next. It's very interesting when you revisit something you haven't seen in a long time, and you watch it a lot when you were a kid with friends, and you'd scream and you hide under blankets and you'd laugh when everybody jumped. It's what you did at a slumber party. It was fun. Sleepovers were always fun. We always had co-ed sleepovers. We always had the after parties. It was fun. Fun time, grand old time, wonderful memories being brought back by watching this 2007 Halloween remake. On to the next review. Mucho mahalo.